You know the deal, spring's already here, so let's rank all the anime from winter. Gonna jump right in, but as always, here are the shows that won't appear on the list, either because I haven't caught up with past seasons, or I dropped the show before. We'll try to be straight to the point, avoiding spoilers as much as I can, but just remember this is just my dumb opinion, and I'm always open to reading yours below. Also, stay tuned to the end for an update on what the heck is going on with the channel. But let's get to it with number 39, Anyway I'm Falling in Love with You. While the season wasn't bad, I felt it was right to give the show the only F tier. Either because it's a really annoying reverse harem with 4 male model copies, a super basic formula, or maybe it's the obvious lack of animation, with them overusing transitions and slide effects to avoid lip syncs, expressions, or to even deliver on the jokes. Just a very cheap, boring premise on a very cheap looking show. Number 38, I'm Living with an Otaku Need Kunoichi. Pretty hard for me to hate a comedy rom-com, but I genuinely hate the overblown neat character so much. Just really annoying to see someone so proud of being lazy. Her hero design is also really dumb, even for fanservice standards. The only reason I'm not putting this at F tier is because the setup is decently funny, but not even the episodes being short saves it for me. Number 37, Momentary Lily. Gohans really needs to tone it down, man. They did so well with the Masterful Cat 2 years ago. Why did you need to animate every single strand of hair on these girls? Why are the boob physics this insane? That and all the weird monsters. And the action itself is all over the place, and I couldn't make heads or tails of it. It's too much, but it's nothing at the same time. The world itself is lifeless, and the dialogue is so boring and drawn out. I appreciate the energy, but no. Number 36, I Want to Escape from Princess Lessons. This was very boring, both visually and story-wise. A very generic plot with a lot of cliches, some awful writing, and a setup I didn't want to sit through. There's been way better princess shows. Number 35, Farmagia. Not much to say, it's a crappy Digimon clone focused on monsters taking care of farms. Filled with generic comedy bits and typical reactions you'd expect from one of these. Not terrible, but meh. They wasted ancient Kung Fu generation for this. Number 34, Promise of Wizard. First episode seems fine, but you really get that this is based on a game, and it's obvious it's for girls, since the guys are just eye candy idols. One named Cock Robin. Super slow, exposition filled, and not for me. Number 33, Baban Baban Ban Vampire. Really weird and kinda uncomfortable. While I get the shtick of vampires targeting virgins, in execution it just feels awkward, like they knew what they were implying. The setup of this guy protecting an 8-year-old boy from losing his V-card in the future is so wrong. What saves it from going any lower is that it does have its funny moments, and times where the plot works to deliver on some great setups. But focusing on the sexual aspect just rubs me the wrong way. It really tanks it. Number 32, I'm a noble on the brink of ruin, so I might as well try mastering magic. Gonna sound like a broken record for a bunch of these, but it's the typical isekai, which I hoped it wasn't. Protag is bland as heck, he's giving so much info, tools, and exposition right away, but we know he just wants to do the cool magic stuff. Just very played out and not worth my time. Number 31, Beheneko, the elf girl's cat is secretly an S-ranked monster. Yup, we got another Inukai-san's dog situation somehow. I at least appreciate the addition of the fantasy aspect, although it's another isekai with ridiculous OP leveling. I don't get why you'd put so much effort into such an obvious hentai. The girl is weirdly into the cat, I'd say even randomly so. It's so out of nowhere. Very on the nose designs and angles too. Only reason it's not F tier is the effort, like I said. And I can't fully hate on the setup. Still weird as hell. Number 30, even given the worthless appraiser class, I'm actually the strongest. Another weakling who is comically abused has a power we already know is gonna be OP. I do like Ursula and Yuri, the characters who give the protag his power boost, and the fact that he has to work to get out of the dungeon, even if it got too edgy. But the powers are way too OP, and the story turns a little aimless, so I didn't feel like I'd lose anything watching this show at 2x speed. And the harem aspect just killed it for me. Gotta stop with these generic weak hero turns OP shows, man. Number 29, Bogus Skill, Fruit Master. And another one. At least I prefer the setup for the hero here, even if he's really stupid. Like, I get his fruit power isn't supposed to be great, but when he said that it was crappy because it wasn't vegetable based, I rolled my eyes so hard. The cult these fruits have is cool, but it felt like it wouldn't develop into anything more. Just a guy who gets strong all of a sudden and gets the girl later. Art is fine, I love the opening, but just that. Number 28, Medaka Kuroiwa is impervious to my charms. I just didn't like the girl. Her whole shtick of knowing she's perfect but doing the most fanservice coded stuff to get this bland guy to acknowledge her was so annoying to me. Some early scenes are pretty gross, considering these are teens, and the guy's whole character is just Temple again, so nothing new either. Can be funny in bits, but just didn't vibe with the premise that I knew was gonna be repetitive. Number 27, Ubel Blatt. This anime screams that the manga was better. I can see the value in the story and the character designs, but it throws blocks of exposition so early and the presentation feels very cheap. They want to convey drama and grit, but it just doesn't translate. Not as bad as what I'd rated before, but man does it feel like wasted potential. Number 26, the daily life of a middle-aged online shopper in another world. Another isekai where the protag can order stuff from Amazon. Unlike Campfire Cooking, which is way better, this one's more fast-paced, and the guy immediately knows how to use his power and profit off it, which is good. But as episodes went by, it got dull. There's a lack of character to it, even if the guy is supposed to be charming with all these girls falling for him. Cool middle-aged rep, but not much to stay for. Number 25, possibly the greatest alchemist of all time. One more isekai. Killed by mistake, he gets OP powers, you know what these are. At least he speedruns through the level process. And his alchemist power is okay. I like the spider friend too, but it starts going downhill with the obligatory slave niche. While the girls are fine, they get the typical eye candy treatment. It has its moments, but I'm just so sick of these copy-paste formulas. Number 24, Headhunted to Another World, from Salaryman to Big Four. This one at least has a really good setup. It's pretty funny how a demon lord got a hold of this guy's curriculum somehow. The way he overcomes these wartime issues with common work stuff is decent enough. But I kinda knew where the story would go with all the generals being girls, like, come on. And it did get repetitive. Not much else from there. Number 23, Honey Lemon Soda. I might be in the minority, but I didn't vibe with the show all that much. I'm not against the coming out of your shell story in the slightest, but stuff didn't click for me. The cutesy designs don't fit the vibe of this crappy school, and the girl being bullied, while needed, felt uncomfortable in the wrong way. Even the dialogue feels so unnatural, like quotes out of a self-help book, and not from actual humans. And while the guy is a tsundere, I don't like him either. But I still would put this over everything else on the list. Still visually decent, and even if I wasn't the target for the show, I know a bunch of people actually liked it well enough. So if I had more patience, maybe I'd have stick around. Still was expecting way better. Number 22, Magic Maker, How to Make Magic in Another World. One more isekai. This one gets a bit of a step up, because I genuinely really like the idea of this kid creating magic in a world where there isn't any. Good setting, good visuals, seem promising. But exposing that this guy is actually a 30-year-old virgin who was waiting to become a wizard, goofy as heck by the way, and the awkward reactions and small incest moment, which I hope didn't continue, ended up losing me. If I had more time, I'd give it more of a chance, but still fine. Number 21, the Red Ranger becomes an adventurer in another world. I really wanted to like this show more, even though it's basically mushing Power Rangers and the isekai genre together. The entire bit being the fantasy characters reacting to the wacky poses and powers a Red Ranger would have is fine, but it is tiring a little too quickly. And the CG monsters are a problem. I like the charm and the idea, and it's just okay. Number 20, I'm getting married to a girl I hate in my class. I was ready to hate this one, but I really appreciate how it doesn't take itself seriously at all. Getting set up by their grandparents was dickish, but it fits the dumb vibe. What I don't like is the wild overreactions from these two. I like a good tsundere, but come on. Some of the visual gags work, but they overdo it sometimes. And I hate the freaking cousin character. Why do you have to make this weird? Then you add the third girl and you lost me. Feels so unnecessary for a premise already crazy enough. Some good points that landed here, but can't go any higher. Number 19, I may be a guild receptionist, but I'll solo any boss. I really identify with this girl. Already having to work with customers and then doing overtime sucks so much. And her being this badass mystery hero is cool. And while she starts off really funny, the whole overtime shtick gets old really fast unfortunately. Just like her being overpowered. They try with some of these side characters, but there's a lack of depth to the story which just doesn't make it as interesting as it could have been. And it's such a shame because I love the girl's design, and the opening had no right to be that beautiful. I wish it had more of that vibe instead of only being comedic. Number 18. I left my A-rank party to help my former students reach the dungeon depths. There are a lot of elements in this show I usually don't like. Underappreciated team member gets kicked, ends up being powerful as hell, and a probable harem scenario, but regardless, I've really enjoyed the show so far. It's a typical fantasy where they fight monsters, but the characters are fun, the fights, magic and animation are surprisingly really good, and the concepts are pretty cool. Even them streaming their fights is clever. Not sure if it'll keep my interest with a few cracks here and there, but I genuinely still like it. We'll see. Number 17, Soraido Utility. Nothing wrong with a good cute girls doing stuff show, even if I would have loved a bit more substance. Also being about golf, you're gonna be limited on what you can do. But overall, I love the visual style and colors, and the characters are quirky and fun, especially the protag applying gamer logic to the sport. A decently fun time. Number 16, Welcome to Japan, Miss Elf. I absolutely love the idea for this one. A reverse isekai where an elf comes to Japan and gets to experience the real world was so wholesome. And pretty nice for a romance as well. Love the energy between the main pair. I just wish the fantasy part, where they go back in their dream, was more interesting. There's world building and effort put into it, but I just wasn't drawn to it as much as the real world stuff. The cute dynamic gives it points, but I'll keep it here. Number 15, Okitsura. Fell in love with an Okinawan girl, but I just wish I knew what she's saying. Honestly shocked by how much I like this one. While yeah, the animation and visuals go from decent to really bad in a few of the later episodes, it was actually cool to get these fun facts and lessons about Okinawa, which I knew nothing about. And I was a big fan of Kana's shy way of trying to get the protag's attention, even though she's not the main love interest. Hina's okay, but it is what it is. A few character moments here and there, sprinkled in between all the memes and lessons, and this was a charming watch. A bit more of a budget would have worked wonders. Number 14, Tazokare Hotel. This one flew under the radar. The idea alone of a hotel in Limbo is fantastic, and I enjoy the weekliest scenarios of people discovering their identities and if they're still alive or not. Plus, the main storyline is integrated well, with it giving little hints and bits of progress here and there. I will say I'm not crazy about the protag, but the interesting cast pulls through. What leaves this a few tiers lower would be the ending. Not gonna spoil, but there are a bunch of ass pulls so last minute that it didn't feel like a satisfying finish. Which is a shame since there was a lot of promise. That being said, I still enjoyed the ride, and maybe you might too. Number 13, Amiku MD, Dr. Detective. I didn't think this was gonna be anime Dr. House, but then she mentioned lupus, and I was convinced. Although it feels like a mix of House and Bones, with the whole criminal detective part. The show definitely has some good mysteries, but I wish it leaned more into the medical stuff, like in episode 9, which truly took me off guard. Didn't have any crime solving, but easily the best case of the show. The other minus I'd say is Amiku herself. It's annoying when she acts like a brat, even if it's supposed to be her character flaw. Add a few long-winded info dumps and the animation suffering in the end, but overall, pretty good. Number 12, Flower and Asura. Didn't expect the show about recitation to be so good, but the way they represent what these characters are reading, with the audio editing and beautiful visuals, just caught me so easily. I actually dig how the main girl opens up, especially when doing what she loves. Fun cast overall. Only thing holding it back would be how a lot of what they explain gets lost in translation. And some episodes slow down, but still, a really good slice of life for sure. Number 11, My Happy Marriage Season 2. It continues a story from Season 1 well, escalating the main pair's love life while adding more drama into the whole magic part. I do want Miyu to finally accept the good life she finally has, but baby steps. Still visually wonderful, but just like Season 1, episodes do drag, and it feels like it could give out more. For what it is, it does it well. Number 10, From Bureaucrat to Villainous, that's been reincarnated. I know we've been showered with villainous shows, but this is such a unique one. Having this cool geeky dad take over this evil princess and try his best to advance the plot while inadvertently changing it is so fun. It is an otome game, so there are usual aspects here, but adding the magic system, the idea of the daughter helping him IRL, and the character getting dubbed to fit the game's vibe just really works. Some of the later episodes aren't as great, and that's it just before A tier, but it's so funny, charming, and creative. And I can't thank the show enough for introducing me to a Galaxy Express 3-9. Such a banger. Number 9, Sakamoto Days. I think this one got a little too much flack. I totally get that considering how other big shonen have been treated recently. This one visually is just good, when it could have been great. Heck, I'd say the most disappointing thing was the opening visuals. But the story, the characters, and the setup just works really well as a comedy action anime. Fights are great, there's creative ways to actually challenge Sakamoto while still being OP as hell, and it lets the side characters have a chance to shine also. Maybe not as funny as Spy Family for example, but I still had a ton of fun. Number 8, Link Click Bryden Arc. You know I'm a huge Link Click fan, so when I saw we were getting a sequel so quickly, I was shocked. Sadly, it's sort of a prequel, so to say. In no way is it bad, mind you, but after what happened in Season 2, the first episode is a little underwhelming. But it really picks up after, and we got some crazy good moments. Not as strong as the other 2 seasons, but it's still Link Click, so it's great. Number 7, I Have a Crush at Work. Yeah, you know I'm a rom-com guy, and man, this is a great office love story. Really, what carries the show is the main couple being so likable. The way Yui changes her whole attitude towards Masuku when at work is so cute, and the couple stuff feels so realistic, not shying away from seeing them snuggle and stuff, while not being super vulgar either. Them being supportive of each other and all that just makes for a really nice watch. The rest of the cast is great too. The B-plot couple is also very charming. Just overall a much needed, mature office rom-com. Number 6, 100 Girlfriends Season 2. I mean, not much to add. Season 2 is still pretty damn good. The show is so unbelievably insane and it's so good at it. Amazing visual gags, really good jokes, fourth wall breaks, and nice additions to the cast. Really like how they can juggle all these girls and even put them in their own little ships. I still don't buy with the Hari being there, and the baby stuff was awkward, but I always end up laughing, so I appreciate the madness, and Best Boy Rentaro. Number 5, Solo Leveling Season 2. Before I get burned here, I really enjoyed this season. There's a reason why I gave the first one a high spot in my top 20 from last year. Action is still good, I love the new heights Sung has to face, and the added depth to the rest of the hunters and the world building. But as it happens with a lot of OP hero shows, you can't say the formula isn't getting a bit repetitive. Are we getting new consequences to Sung having to use his godly powers? Absolutely. And I hope the next season dives into that even more, but having him be the predictable save button does take away from the obvious result. And, semi-going into spoilers, the emotional moment of the season, while still being nice, left me wishing it was more hard-hitting. Like, they could have waited a bit, or shown us more context so it felt a little more satisfying. That's just me though. Again, I still had a great time with the action, so I'll place it here. Number 4, Senshuu. I know the outcry for the show being an isekai took some hype out of it, and the plot being about an animator while being done by MAPPA didn't help either, but taking that away, I was absolutely entranced with this show. The idea of the protag going into her favorite movie and try to change the outcome is great, and the cast and world are simple on paper, but man do they take them on a ride. You have an idea what is supposed to happen, but they do a fantastic job switching it up. And you can't deny, this is the best looking new anime from last season, by far. The penciled in powers, the beautiful transformation, the color scheme, all so great. And the show gets even better once they explore Natsuko's past, really adds to everything. A bit of a quick ending, but this show is underrated in my mind. Number 3, Dr. Stone Science Future. Again, I've talked about Dr. Stone before, and I'm still on board with what it's done so far. This arc definitely has a different approach, having to introduce the America characters, but it's done really well, and I love seeing Dr. Zeno and his connection to Senku, and the mind games. I kinda wish the show had better animation at times, but even ignoring that, it's been able to consistently deliver on this crazy plot and this huge cast of characters. Still funny, still very interesting, and that ending got me emotional somehow. Can't wait for more. Number 2, Medalists. Another show stuck on Disney Plus being absolutely brilliant. There's no better feel-good pairing this season than Inori and Tsukasa. It's so relatable to see this adult character with dreams he left behind try to do good for the next generation, and Inori's personal journey into opening up and chasing her dream, even if she's a little too old to be a figure skater. And they intertwine beautifully. The show is filled with really good emotional moments that got me hyped and teary-eyed. And the visual style lets that work while adding some funny gags and reactions too. The whole cast is brilliant, and just like Gigak said, the kid characters feel like actual kids, instead of just the typical whiny or head-empty portrayals. And while the animation for the routines is CGI, it's honestly really nice and smooth. Really allows for those moments to feel important. The show balances the sport and the humanity of these characters so well. A really good sports anime with a cast and a star you really want to cheer for. Hope it gets more attention for season 2. Before I go on to my number 1, here is a list of shows that were contending from last season, or the loose ends, so to speak. Re:Zero was good, but the ending to the season wasn't as great as how it started, but still solid. Blue Box gave me all the freaking feels in those last few episodes, and is super underrated. Orb kept building up its tremendous story in ways I didn't think it could after the first score, and ended as a masterpiece. Really needs to be talked about more. Trillion Game and Shangri-La kept doing its thing, and Daima might be the only one I felt a little underwhelmed by. Amazing visuals, but man did the story fall off in the second half just to deliver on the fan service. Great moments, won't lie, but I was expecting more out of it. Number 1, Apothecary Diaries Season 2. Yeah, pretty easy choice for my favorite show this season. It continues to deliver on the mysteries inside the Inner Palace, and on Mao Mao and her great chemistry with everyone on this awesome cast. Still visually beautiful, still very intriguing, and still full of personality. Really love that first opening too. Honestly, not much to say that I haven't said before. Glad the show is back, and I still wish I had given it a higher spot in my top 2023 video. And that's my ranking of the anime I got to watch from winter. Pretty mixed bag, especially compared to other seasons these past few years, but had some gems in there, especially some really good sequels. Now, on to what the heck is going on with the channel. You might have noticed that the winter recap video didn't come out. I did try to let you guys know through the community tab, but if you missed that and you were waiting for it, I apologize. Like I've said before in the end of my videos, I have other stuff going on with my life that makes me late when uploading. And when doing seasonal reviews or tier lists just like this one, I'm gonna miss out on views and all that junk. I try not to focus on it, but it is a little bit of a deterrent when you're editing and you know the video is gonna be late and you're not gonna get any traction. It's definitely on me, but when I'm either busy with work, personal stuff and all that, there's not a lot I can do. And I still love anime, and I love sharing my opinions with you guys. But I can't prioritize this stuff when I gotta think about bills and my actual job. Especially with how the world is going. I mean, I gotta buy a Switch too. But, all jokes aside, this doesn't mean that I'm closing the channel or anything. My first option here is that I won't be doing the usual anime season recaps anymore. Maybe I'll find a way to make shorter stuff, like top 5s or a quicker recap, or even upload shorts, but nothing super time consuming, and nothing concrete either. If that's what you subscribed for in the first place, I'm very sorry that I can't deliver on that anymore. I wish this was my job so I could put my all on it, but it is what it is. Still, I'm gonna try to keep watching all the new shows and everything, like I usually do, because I love to do that, and the tier list videos will still come out, even if a bit late. This one's late because I got sick, and you might actually hear that on my voice right now. Maybe I'll find a way to do different stuff that doesn't depend on timing, like anime reviews, heck, maybe I'll go into movies, series, or even gaming if you're into that. Overall, the channel is still gonna be here, so I do hope you stick around. And you can follow me on Blue Sky if you want up-to-date stuff, and the community tab will always be there if I need to update you guys on a video or delays or anything. Seriously, might seem dumb, but I really appreciate the 500 plus of you who have stuck around and subscribed. Didn't really expect that much people to be interested in what I do. And while I might be letting some of you down with this, I hope I can still do stuff that you can find worthwhile. Thanks guys. Well, I gotta see what's going on with spring, which seems to be loaded right now, so it's been Jules, I hope you have a great one, and I'll see you all next time.